Hi everybody, I'm Gepwin, and this is a little thing I call Gepwin Say. If you're unfamiliar, because it's only the second episode so far, I basically sit here and I ramble about something that's on my mind. So first off, this is the first thing I'm recording with my new microphone, so please do let me know if you enjoy the sound quality. It should be a good boost from what I was using previously. Aside from that, because I'm staring at it as I'm talking to you, that's what I'm thinking about. Aside from that, I wanted to talk about this new iPad game that you may have heard of. It's called Flappy Bird. Apparently, everyone's heard of it because currently, looking at it, it has 600,000 reviews. Just over, almost 630,000 reviews. And it has a 4-star rating. It is currently the most recommended free game on the iPad store. I don't know how it compares to Android, but I know that probably just as many people have reviewed and looked at it on Android. I don't know how the reviews are stacking up on that store. But on the iPad store, it has a 4-star review, and it is incredibly popular. Now, I played this, and I personally thought it was terrible. I was going to review it for a segment I was doing, and I thought this game was kind of terrible. And it really surprised me that it was the top pick on the iTunes Free, because those aren't always amazing, but often they're playable. I mean, they're what am I trying to say exactly? They're not usually bad games. Now, I don't have any problem with free games. I know lots of people do. What really got me about this game is I just read an article that reported that this game is making $50,000 a day in ad sales. Just ads. This game has no microtransactions, has nothing else going on with it. The creator, whose name I cannot pronounce, so please forgive me, I'm not going to be using his name because I would butcher it completely. The creator of this game says that he has no plans to change it in the future. He's just going to let it sit there and generate money. And you know what? I don't blame him. If I had something out there that was generating $50,000 a day for me, with me having to do nothing, I certainly wouldn't change it. Now, that's not wrong in itself. He made a game that became popular, and he's getting success off of it. And he's even getting success in a kind of not as douchey way as a lot of other free games. He's not charging people microtransactions. He's not trying to rip them off. He's not pulling a Candy Crush and making the game unplayable unless you give him money. Really, he's doing things in a pretty good and reasonable way. So what's my problem? My problem is I don't understand why this is happening. Alright, because from everything that I have seen and everything I know about games and all of my reviews, I would have told you to avoid this game like the plague. This is a terrible game. So let's try to break it down for a minute and see if we can understand what exactly is going on. So the game has a couple of mechanics. Firstly, when you start out, your bird is flying. As your bird flies along, it falls toward the ground. There is gravity. The bird falls pretty slowly for a bird. It's not realistic gravity speed at all, but as you're flying along, your bird falls. Every time you tap the screen, your bird jumps up. So that is your only interaction with the game, is to tap the screen and make your bird jump. Which I have seen games made out of that. It's pretty much the same thing as Badlands, which I love. It's one of my favorite iPad games, where you tap the screen and your little dude flaps his arms and he flies up and down. But that game is amazing because there's so many things to do. They handle the mechanics so well. They handle the animations amazingly. The sound design is amazing. I really, really love that game. But Flappy Bird doesn't seem to have that. Your obstacles in this game are pipes. And let's stop a second to talk about the pipes before we move on to what the pipes do. These pipes, and indeed all the graphics in this game, appear to be lifted or at least copied incredibly heavily from early Mario games. And that is an aesthetic that a lot of people use, but it's copying early Mario games. Now, maybe the stuff's in the public domain, or it hasn't. Nintendo gives them the rights to use it, just something. I don't know exactly what, but I don't see how you can take the Mario game, things like that, and use them exactly as is. It just seems wrong to me. Like, I know a lot of people use them, or use them referentially, or use them as an homage, but this game doesn't seem to do that. You're just playing as one of the Mario enemies, and you're trying to dodge these pipes. So the other aspect of the game, we talked about how your bird moves, but what you want to do with your bird's movement is get through these teeny tiny gaps in the pipe. They're incredibly small. It's incredibly difficult. I've never gotten very far in this game, I'll admit it. That's not why I don't like it. I'll get that out of the way. I love difficult and challenging games. One of my favorite games ever is Dark Souls. I'm looking forward to Dark Souls 2. I cannot wait for it to come out. I want to play through it. I love the challenge and the difficulty and all of these things if they're handled correctly. This game doesn't really do that. You whap into the pipe, it makes a noise. It's not even a very good or amusing noise. The game ends and you start over. And that's it. I think the main thing that has made this game popular is it always prompts you to share your scores with your friends, which I know a lot of people do, and they get kind of competitive with their friends. A lot of games mechanics are based on this. So it encourages you to share with your friends, which other games do, but the playtime on this game is so fast. It's so fast that you are sharing those scores hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times a minute. Like, literally, you could play this game probably 100 times a minute if you're as bad at it as I am. Now, I kind of understand that, but this is my issue. This is my main thing that I don't like. Is one, I don't understand why people love this game so much. I've heard some things talking about it. Okay, I've heard people saying that they like it because it's different, or it's really challenging, or it's simple and super challenging. So maybe this is kind of like the casual gaming community's Dark Souls. You know, they've got nothing but Candy Crush and Bejeweled and all these casual games that are a breeze to play if you know anything about games, and they get something like this. The problem is that it's not difficult because it's designed to be difficult. It's difficult because it's designed badly. Alright, the main mechanics are not implemented correctly. It is a game with broken mechanics, and the broken mechanics make it hard to play. That's not the same thing as a game being difficult and enjoyable and challenging. Now, why is this a problem for me? Because free games are becoming a more and more prevalent part of our culture. And we've seen free games be ruined by microtransactions, be ruined by corporate greed. EA recently completely ruined the new Dungeon Keeper. And the new Dungeon Keeper got 4-star reviews. This got 4-star reviews. This is making a ton of money. Dungeon Keeper, I bet, is making a ton of money. Clash of Clans is the most earning game on iOS. It makes a ton of money for developers. It gains a ton of support for developers. It gains a ton of fans for developers. It shouldn't. Developers should be making good games to make their money. If they can make money by making terrible games, then they're going to keep making terrible games. I mean, I personally am not that good a programmer. I'm not that good a game developer. I could make Flappy Birds in about 10 minutes knowing what I know now. You know, it's easy to make. You could pump out a big company could pump out 1 million Flappy Birds in a day. And if they did that, apparently, if you did that and you get lucky, and one of the big companies is going to do something similar, and it's going to get lucky because there will be 1 billion copies of the game out there, it's going to work, and this is going to become the future of games if we're not careful, because the casual market is making up a huge percentage of who's playing games. And let's face it, gamers are hostile to newcomers. It's a fact. It's always been a fact. We hate it when new people come into our games. We don't like the noobs. We hate it when people try to play. We hate introducing them to things. We hate it when they play mobile games. But if we don't do something, I think we actually have to start being more welcoming, because this is a lot of people's only experience with gaming. If Flappy Birds is your only experience with gaming, if iOS is your only experience with gaming, and I think that's why people think these are good games when they're not. Because they just don't have the breadth of experience that we do that tells us what is a good game. We have played the really good games. We know what a good game is. We know what it feels like to be actually challenged by a game. Some of the people who are pure casual gamers might not, and I think that's a problem. We need some better games for the casual market, not these same rip-offs over and over and over. And you can say that the casual market doesn't matter to me because I'm not a casual gamer, but what happens in the casual market is affecting what's happening in the game space overall. Companies are looking to the casual market because that's the biggest market share right now. Your hardcore AAA gamer makes up a fraction of who they're selling games to. And we need to keep an eye on this. Like, I don't know what to do exactly. You know, I do some slight game design. I don't make anything that big. I can't really make the next big blockbuster title, or I don't think I'm going to be making the next, amazing iOS game. But someone needs to introduce casual gamers to good games. Someone needs to show people what a good game is so they recognize it and can not have it take up the store like this. Anyway, I am Gepwin. That's my say. I apologize for the truck outside. I don't know what the heck it's doing. Not my problem. It's outside. So if you hear that, I apologize. It's the new mic setup. It's more sensitive. I'm Gepwin. This has been my say on Flappy Birds. I know some of you might not agree with me. If you do enjoy this game, please tell me why. I'm not trying to be mean to anyone who enjoys this game. People have different tastes. People enjoy different things. I enjoy stuff other people hate. Other people enjoy stuff I hate. That's fine. But I really want to understand why. Why do people like this game? Is it a great game? Am I missing something about it? I really want to know. I'd like to start a discussion on these things. And this is something that I really don't understand. And I really want to. Anyway, this has been Gepwin's Say. I have been Gepwin. I will continue to be, but I have been for the duration of this video as well. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon.